is to smart contracts. Okay, so as you know, Bitcoin, actually the network started in January 3rd, 2009, I mentioned, right? Then in 2014, in a conference, I met a very weird looking guy, looks a bit like E.T. Okay, he's the closest looking to E.T. After Jack Ma. Okay, so yeah, he looked very strange. I knew him back in 2014. Yeah, now you can see him in the news as the youngest billionaire, as Vitalik Buterin. Yeah, I was so innocent when I took my photo with him. Didn't know what I was talking about. Yeah, of course I am. I'm also a crowdfunder for Ethereum. Yeah. So okay. Anyway, that's not the issue. I want to talk about is smart contracts. Okay. Now we have lawyers here. I believe. Let's check. Do we
Yeah,
have our lawyers here?
Will is here. I'm not sure
We have
whether
our
Jason
lawyers
is here.
Okay, good. We have lawyers here. Now, when you talk about contracts, the definition of contracts would be an agreement, whether verbally or written, right, by two or more parties, whether with or without any witness, right, and then with some consideration, and then that will result in a contract. Okay, and we live now in a contractual world. Why? Because you have to honor the contract, right? Everything you do, you need to have a contract, right? That is why the lawyers are so busy, and that is why the lawyers can make very good money, right? So, yeah, that's how it is. Now, the only problem is with contract. You know what's the problem? It's breach of contract, lah. Simple as that, right? So you have contract, you have breach of contract, and that is why you have lawyers. That's why the lawyers are so busy, right? You have more people, you have more business, then you have more argument, you have more breach of contract. Then the lawyers keep having drugs, though.
Yeah, you have arbitration and all, and you have
Yeah.
somebody to actually mitigate both sides.
And then you have the courts.
And you have the courts, and you have the judges to decide.
Yeah. So that wastes a lot of energy, money, and resources.
And your verdict may not necessarily be exactly what you want, because you know what?
Correct.
Humans can be bought. I didn't say it,
So the lawyers eventually they will hate it because the smart contracts might take up a lot of their work away. Okay. Now, what is a smart contract? So the smart contract are lines of coding that is being coded onto the blockchain. And as you know, blockchain, there are miners. There are so many people, all total strangers probably, right, running the network. So you cannot buy off people you don't know, right? And much less buy off a machine. You don't know how do you bribe a machine, right? You can bribe a person. You don't know how to bribe a machine. And that machine could be somewhere in Africa, in Iceland, in Canada, or South America. You don't know where that machine is. And much less to bribe it. With what? Right? So that is the concept of why that decentralization gives so much trustworthiness to it. Right? So contracts are, you write the codes of the contract onto the blockchain, right? And then onto the blockchain, you will write the terms and conditions that will trigger that contract. Okay, I always give the example of the weather. Okay, I always give the weather. So okay, I don't know. I look out the window. I think it's going to rain, but then you tell me, nah, it's not going to rain. Okay, so I said, let's take a bet on this. Right? You see, if without smart contract, it's very hard. Why? Because I have to trust you. If I don't trust you, I wouldn't bet with you. You see, so the reach would be very, very close. You cannot reach very far, and you cannot expand your business very far. Why? You can only deal with those you know, who are near you, who you trust. Okay, so it limits your market. Right? And then secondly, the cost is very high. Can you imagine that we have to call up Will Fang to ask him to draft out an agreement for us to take a bet on the weather 30 minutes from now?
Yeah, it's too expensive.
And it's crazy. He will say that, hey, you guys, don't do this to me, right? And then there will be argument. You know why? With a few drops, I say, that it's raining. And then you say, hey, a few drop is not raining lah, okay? It's still very shiny, the sun is still there, this is not raining. So you see the problem with the current world and society. But if it is smart contract, it would be different. You know why? Because I would write lines of code. And then this line of code would trigger, say for example, the triggering time is now is 3:50, say 4:30. Okay, so we will bet the weather. I will say it will rain by 4:30. You say it would not rain by 4:30. So what happens is, I would stake. This is where the word stake is. I would stake some coins. Okay, some crypto lah. Say I'll stake 100 crypto, whatever crypto to it. You will also stake 100 crypto. So our bet is 100 crypto, right? So I will have my 100 crypto locked up. You will also have your 100 crypto locked up. Okay, and by 4:30, this contract will be triggered, and we will agree to an API, to a website. Okay, for example, you say, oh, I want to use BBC weather. I say use CNN weather. I both also don't agree. Then we decide to use, say Yahoo weather lah. Then okay, let's agree all on Yahoo weather on the Kuala Lumpur and see if says raining. If the word rain comes out, then I win. The word rain don't come out, you win. Okay, so we write it on this smart contract. Okay, agree with the API linking to the trigger of events at 4:30 and then link onto this website. Right? Then after we stake and this smart contract is done, it is out in the open. Then we will broadcast this smart contract to all the miners who maintain this network. So more miners, the network becomes stronger. Right? Now then at 4:30, whether it rains, if it rains, these 200 cryptos come to my account. If it doesn't rain, these 200 cryptos will go to Ivan's account.
It will be automatically, or it will be triggered automatically.
It will be triggered and then executed.
And
without any human intervention.
Without any human intervention. And this is what we call as technology being agnostic, because we don't recognize anyone else. It's actually written into the code, and the code in itself is already they say that you want to be regulated. The code itself is actually regulating in itself.
And that is why we say code is law. That's the reason we say code is law. And thereby, I need to make a statement that we are now still living in a world of contractual civilization. But blockchain will bring us to another level. It's mathematical civilization. Okay, so in the future, like I say, I come from the future, right? So in the future, it's all mathematics, right? Algorithms, mathematics that runs our life, that determines which TV program, the aircon, our meeting, everything will be run by, mathematics, right? So it's no more human. Human can change. Human change minds. People change. Right? But codes, they don't change. Codes are codes. Mathematics don't change. And that is why in the future, we will trust mathematics more than you trust any human beings. And that is why we run a lot of algorithms now. And that is why in Propy, and this is what we are doing. We design all these codes and algorithms and let all these codes run and learn by itself. And that's why it's called AI. Right? And one thing I would like to mention, and now you understand what a smart contract is. So actually in Propy, this function is not out yet, but I expect it to be out by maybe next month, latest by May latest. Sorry, not May, June. Okay, next month probably. Is this something we call the Smart Escrow? But frankly speaking, it's no kanchong lah. Actually, it can also come out in June or July. You know why? Because in the beginning, I don't believe people know how to use it.
Yeah.
We are too advanced. We are too far. We are too far ahead.
Even explaining this whole concept of blockchain and the understanding is going to take a while for educating. I mean, the education is the biggest issue. And even if they know that this is going to be the mathematical future, this is how it's going to be in the future, a lot of people will say, no, why? No, human beings not going to happen. Actually, it is because of the failings of human beings that it's the requirement to move towards a more agnostic technology that
negates, mathematics is agnostic. Yeah,
negates the human emotions, because we are so fragile, right? You can easily be bribed, not just with money, but with.
And you can be emotional.
You can be so fucking emotional in many sense. This can, that cannot. You see, you cite me or you're my friend.
And then today can, tomorrow cannot. Today cannot, tomorrow can.
Move all of that. I think we are also eventually going to be moving towards a more agnostic future. Yeah. So technology is going to be able to provide, and we are in that cusp of technological evolution to be able, revolution, not even evolution, to be able to do what we actually say we're going to do with all this data, big data, AI, blockchain, and decentralized. Actually, a lot of this is already not just designed, it's already there. The future is already here, it's already happening, and a lot of people are still far behind.
Okay, so let's talk back about this smart contract. Okay, in our system, I prefer it in Propi app. I prefer to call it smart escrow, because you say smart contract, people don't understand. Right? You say escrow, people might have an idea. Okay, so escrow is like escrow is like, okay, I say, hey, I know somewhere there's a unit. Okay, the developer is letting out this unit at 50% discount from the market rate, right? So in the group, you have people saying, hey, I'm interested. Hey, everybody also say interested. So who comes first? Who should I reserve it for? You tell me, right? So if you say, okay, let's ask Will Fang. Okay, Will Fang again. See, we have to advertise for him, our legal. So you have to look for Will Fang, right? And then you say, okay, I place a booking of 1,000. And then you say, another fella say, I want to place a booking for 2,000. But don't forget, just to do this alone, first of all, you have to place, normally you have to look for lawyer Will Fang, and then you have to place your booking fee or deposit, or your, I don't know what people call it, you have to place this money with the lawyer, right? And then he has to draft out all the terms and conditions, like, okay, if this deal goes through within this thing, and then this price and whatever, then okay, you can return the money if you don't want. If you go and visit and if you check everything, you can be returned, or can return half, or can return 20%, or what, I don't know, right? And then you need to get, and then we have to pay the lawyer fees. Okay, Will Fang is not cheap, so you have to pay lawyer fees. But in a smart contract, actually, all of what I mentioned, all the terms and conditions are all already coded. Okay, so you don't need a lawyer, because after a lawyer, you still need to go to the banks and all this, right? So you see, to do an escrow, not only it is expensive, it is slow, and it is not efficient. But in Propi app, we are going to have this smart escrow, whereby you just need to put in and say, oh, you're interested in this unit. Then you stake how much? Okay, my condition is very simple. My condition is, if you come and visit and you do a check and you still don't want, I can return 90% to you of what you put in. Okay, and then how much depends on the first come first serve order. The more you stake, you will get first priority. You will set the terms and conditions. Okay, so the parameters are there openly. You just need to fill in. Okay, so you just need to fill in, and everybody agrees. Then you can stake your property points there. So it's like a smart escrow. But this escrow is very simple. You just need to fill in the blanks. Everybody agrees. Then it is staked. Then your property points will be staked like on a blockchain, something like that. Okay, and then upon agreement, that will be released into the percentage that everybody has agreed. Okay, so this is called our smart escrow. So you see, this is also very blockchain.
Actually, that is a very, very good feature. Unfortunately, because a lot of people don't understand it yet. So when we actually say that it's actually part of our Propi Beep, sometimes they don't quite get it. But I hope that with this more understanding of how this is one of the very few permutations from the blockchain world that will eventually seep into the more traditional world.
Yeah, that is why when I explain, you slowly see that not only our whole organization is very blockchain-like,
the infrastructure
features,
is,
the infrastructure is very blockchain-like.
It's all blockchain-like.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.